start off, I said just, one of those games where it was about us, and that's what I really challenged the guys is that, we're not playing the opponent, we're playing ourselves. And for us to continue to take the steps in the right direction, I mean, we got to continue to build on the defensive end, build on the performance that we had against Detroit, and then, a team in Arkansas Pine Bluff when, look at the first two games that they played at Creighton, they were up 15 at one point in the second half, and then we're only playing 6 guys, and they kind of fell off the cliff there towards the end. But Colorado State was a game where a lot of that game was very competitive, even though sometimes the score maybe not indicated. But for us to come in and have that the mature approach, knowing that we're not good enough just to show up and just beat anybody. I mean, we have to put forth the effort and put in the work behind the scenes. I thought we had 2 good days of preparation, and I think you saw that on the court. I mean, to hold their 2 leading scorers to, I think, a combined 15 or 16 points, just a credit to the guys that were guarding them, but just the overall team defensive effort. I just thought we were really good in terms of our defensive spacing, positioning, forcing them into turnovers, knowing that when they drive, I mean, they're not looking past anybody, and so we did a good job of digging in there and creating some turnovers, and then knowing that they have, there's no resistance inside for Graham. In the first half, Graham started a little slow. He was a little under the weather, but in the second half, he showed that he's a man amongst boys. So good win. We'll learn some things from it, especially late in the game or most of the second half when they're running and jumping at the ball. It was good for us to experience that. Now, now we got to turn our effort towards Washington on Thursday.
Jeff, I'm sure you're most pleased with the defense these first 2 games, but how pleased are you with the balance, especially the starters, just all 4 scoring in double digits and kind of spreading the wealth there?
Yeah, I mean, in order to be a good college basketball team, I mean, you can't have just 5 guys. I mean, you got to have some depth in recruiting. We recruit guys that can make shots. And so, when you see that, the starting lineup, but then too, knowing that coming off the bench that, any of those guys between, Wenzel, Dang, Thompson, Noah, Kenny gets back. I mean, we got, any of those guys can score in double digits in the Division I game. And so for us to have that depth, I mean, it makes life so much easier for us as coaches. Especially for Coach DeWeese when he's sitting there looking to see who we're going to sub, and he actually sees that, hey, we're not going to take a big drop off like we did last year. And so, I just think collectively, not just the starting 5, but the entire group. I mean, they just understand what we're trying to do offensively, and they know each game it's going to be different offensively in terms of what we're going to try to do and how we're going to attack. And I thought tonight they did a good job of understanding that Pine Bluff was a team that's going to try to get out and pressure and use that against them, and that's what we did. I mean, they couldn't guard us if they wanted to in the half court, especially man-to-man wise. They had to junk it up, but at that point in time, it's a moot point. So good job on our guys' part by understanding that and attacking it.
Second straight opponent under 50 points. What do you see as the biggest factor in the success you're having on the defensive end so far?
I just think just our discipline and effort, and the ability for us to actually practice and to develop those habits. I mean, we had such a young team last year, and we're still young. I mean, we still start, technically 3 freshmen, and so to have those reps, and then you add a Jo that was 6'9" last year and 180 pounds. Now he's 6'9", 210 pounds, and you got Graham Ike who was 6'9" last year, 240, 50 pounds, and 22% body fat because he was coming off ACL tear. I mean, now he's 6'10" and 245 pounds with 10% body fat, and the way that he can move and his just his intelligence and feel. I mean, especially at the 5 spot in our ball screen coverages like today. I mean, we just switched for the majority of the game. We just switched ball screens 1 through 5, and he was guarding their leading scorer Williams out in the perimeter and doing a good job of using that 7'5" wingspan and forcing them to shoot deeper threes than what they probably are accustomed to. And so I just think our overall maturity is so much better. And we just don't make those, good defensive teams don't make mistakes. And over the course of 75 possessions, I mean, we're not making very many mistakes.
Are you looking forward to seeing how this team handles the road? You have some challenging road games coming up, obviously, starting with Washington. Similar trip that you had last year, but are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, I mean, for us, in order to be a good team, you got to find a way to win on the road. We played against the Pac-12 team in a secret scrimmage on the road. So, and most of my guys, I mean, they were here last year when we went into Oregon State. So, I mean, they're not scared by any environment. So, I mean, we're going to go in there and try to put forth our best effort against a really talented Washington team.
Won the points in the paint battle by 20-something points. Just, how pleased were you, not just Graham, but all the guys were able to kind of get in there and attack the basket?
Well, I mean, my guys know. I mean, that's every time down the floor we're fighting for a paint touch. I mean, and that can come in a variety of different ways. But ultimately, we know if we can get the ball in the paint, whether that's by throwing the ball into the post, whether that's off the bounce, whether that's off of creating a rotation. Our points per shot's gonna go up and it's gonna be really high. So our guys know that's what we fight for every possession. They know that they're gonna hear about it if we don't, and they understand what a really good shot is, and that's what we fight for. Every possession is a great shot, not a good shot. And I think over the course of time, that's what allows you to be a really good offensive team is when you shoot the right shots.
All right, you guys good?
Obviously, they had to resort to fouling Graham quite a bit there. Where does he chart in terms of free throws? Where would you like his percentage to be to make teams pay for that?
Well, I mean, I thought he did tonight. I mean, he missed a couple, but I mean, leading into this game, he's a 75-80% free throw shooter. I mean, that's what makes him so good is that, I mean, he's going to draw so much attention and he's going to put so much foul pressure on the other team is that he's not that, typical post player that goes to the foul line and is going to shoot 50%. I mean, he's a guy that, that's a 75-80% guy. And so that's why he's special, is that he's got that ability to do that. And when teams start to try to press up, you can throw the ball to him and just get out of the way. I mean, you don't have to get, real tricky. Just get the ball in your guys' hands in the right places and let them play.